How's it going, everybody? I just wanted to make a video, hopefully help somebody out how to size Birkenstocks. Obviously that's something that's hard to do for a lot of people. I see a lot of negative reviews on like websites, and they complain about that, like, oh, I ordered them and I normally get my size, whatever, and it ends up being like huge on me. So that's the most negative reviews. I see people complain about Birkenstocks with the sizing because the Europeans are a little different. In my particular experience and other people's too, basically kind of noticed that most people complain that they're bigger than what they normally wear. So in my opinion, it's not always true, but in my opinion, normally you want to downsize from what you would normally wear. Like me, I wear in regular shoes like about 11 and a half or so, and in Birkenstocks I actually wear a size 10 for men, which is a 43. And when I first started, I got obviously a too big of a size. 45s, which are 12s, are actually too big. 44s are, like kind of in between. They're not too big, but they're not too, they're not perfect. Then I think the 43s are my size, and obviously then there's the narrow, which I didn't know they were narrow when I ordered them at the time, but oh well. And I'll talk about the sizing on those as far as the difference between the two, even though they're both 43. One's regular footbed, one's narrow. So basically what I found is not to go by what you normally would size for shoes. I actually found a size chart for Birkenstocks that if you Google it, it's actually in centimeters. So basically you would measure your foot, which me normally, or I measure mine, and it's about 11 inches long. And so then where I found where it says 11, about roughly 11 inches long for the Birkenstock size, they said it was basically like a 43, I believe it was. So, and it ends up being pretty true. So in my opinion, I think that's a better measurement to go by. Look for a size chart like that for Birkenstocks, where it'll show you the size, the European size, and then it'll show you the inches, like how long the footbed is, and then measure your foot, and then hopefully it should work out for you. Because, like I said, not everybody can go to like a store and try them on, because not every store is gonna carry them, because they're an expensive shoe. So, so my opinion, try doing that. It should help you out. Just go ahead and if you have to outsource to online store to try them on for the first time, try doing that. Measure your foot with a tape measure or whatever, and see how long your foot is, and then try to find that size chart online, and then should tell you what European size they get. It should hopefully work out for you. It may not be a guarantee, but I think it at least worked out for me, and it also helped my mom out when I was helping her find a pair too. So so yeah, that ended up working out good for me. And basically like the 45s, like I said, I'm like about 11, my foot was measured out to about 11 inches long, and as you can see, these are almost 12 and a half inches long. Well, about 12 and a quarter. So you can see a big difference that they are definitely bigger than what my foot is. And the knees are about 11 and a half inches long, actually a little over. So, and then 43s, which are yeah, so they're just a shy under 11 and a half. So, and actually it's a little shorter because the actual footbed inside will make it more narrower instead, because I'm measuring all the way from the back, which you're not resting your foot all the way back here. It's inside a little more. So the 43s ended up fitting me perfectly, in my opinion. So that's just my experience with them. Hopefully it would help somebody else out too. And basically I'll show you actually trying them on. I'll show you how they should kind of look for the most part. And hopefully it'll help you out a little bit. So here's the 45s, and basically you want to always adjust the buckle first, like loosen it up, and then put your foot in, and you want it to not have a gap like this. You want it to be comfortably resting back here, but obviously not touching on the top. And then, you know, as you can see, there's quite a bit of space here, which some people say, oh, that's, you know, good fit, but really, you know, you can see I can put my foot all the way forward, and then there's a big gap. So that's how you know these are too big. And the 43s are actually not bad. You know, they actually fit pretty good. And obviously, with, you know, if you have a double buckles, you want to loosen them both up, and then put your foot all the way comfortably back here, and then adjust this buckle first, and then you can go and adjust this one, and then kind of see how it fits. And if it still seems like you're swarming in them, then they're a little too big too. As you can see, you know, I still got some space in them. So these are just slightly too big, but they actually are not that bad. You know, they're, you know, I wouldn't go any bigger than those. And then with the 43s, you know, they're comfortably back here. And you can see, you know, I got slight amount of room. This is basically about the kind of space you want. Gives you just enough, you know, room where you're not touching. So when you're actually walking, and you're, you know, basically your toes spread out a little bit, it's not going to be like touching, you know, the edge of it. So these actually fit pretty good. So that's kind of, you know, what you want to look for. And then the difference as far as the narrow footbed goes is really only the width of the toe box itself. Everything else down is the same size. Basically, from what I measured, you can see here from the narrow, it's about 4.5 inches long, and with the same size, they're both 43s, mind you. Well, let me see. Yeah, then, oh, that's right. I just had it down too far, I think, or something. They're about 4 inches, and these ones are like 4.5 inches. So the regular footbed obviously is a little bit wider than the narrow. So obviously you need to decide which one to get out of the two. You know, once you find your actual size, well, that's kind of really up to you to see. You know, if you normally wear a wide foot, or if you need a wide footbed or a narrow. So, but other than that, hopefully it helps you out and helps make you find the right size. You know, like I said, you know, the best thing to do is to try them on, like in a store somewhere if they have them. But not everybody's lucky enough to have a store near them that they can do that. So kind of most people try them, you know, actually have to order them online. So, but hope that helps out. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching.